Police officer under arrest, accused of sexually assaulting women. Now, Oklahoma City police are asking people to share this story. They say an officer patrolling the streets was also preying on women he pulled over for bogus traffic stops. Officer Daniel Holtzclaw is under investigation for assaulting several women on the job. Police say the suspect would require women to expose themselves and perform lewd acts on him. Several alleged victims have come forward, but police say there could be more out there. Keaton Fox from our affiliate KOKH has the details.
Daniel Holtzclaw is behind bars tonight, accused of rape, rape by instrumentation, forcible sodomy, sexual battery, and indecent exposure. This is Alicia Tim, an attorney for the first alleged victim who came forward.
She was driving home from a friend's house, and it was a bogus traffic stop. He pulled her over and accused her of something that she knew she had not done. And then he asked her to drive to a secluded area off of 50th and Lincoln, around to the side of a building, and that's when the sexual assault occurred.
In a news conference today, Oklahoma City police say at least 7 attacks happened, and they believe there may be more.
There's a good possibility that there may be more victims. You know, we're obviously releasing the picture, and if there's anyone that was victimized by this officer, we certainly want to hear from them.
Holtzclaw is accused of sexually assaulting women over a 6-month period. Police say once they got the first complaint, they began looking at all his previous traffic stops for other potential victims.
You want to talk about trust, there's your trust. Not just what did we hear about, but we went further than that, and we discovered more victims than would have ever been known.
Police Chief Bill City says he and the other officers on the force are mad that one officer can make the whole force look bad.
I have to hope that most of the community realizes that our officers, you know, 99.9% of them are trustworthy, and you know, and when something like this happens, the officers take it very, very personally.
Joining me now, HLN law enforcement analyst Mike Brooks and psychologist Erik Fisher. All right, before we talk about what's been going on, I want to go through his charges. So first up, forcible oral sodomy. He has 3 charges of forcible oral sodomy. Then he has 2 charges of indecent exposure. Number 3, rape in the first degree, 2 charges of that. And number 4, sexual battery. All right, Mike Brooks, up first. He's been on the force for 3 years, it seems. And I know they do a lot of background investigations before they let someone come onto the force. Is this something they could have picked up beforehand?
You know, that's tough to say, but did they go through any kind of psychological screening? And many departments now also, Yasmin, they have polygraphs. They give them lie detector tests as part of their hiring process. And that washes out a lot of people who aren't being totally upfront with the investigators who work in the recruiting department. So, you know, was he given a psychological test? Was he given a polygraph? We don't know. It may have, again, may have been able to screen him out, but I tell you, it just tarnishes the image of all law enforcement and really ticks me off.
All right, Erik, you know, this guy was a standout football player, it turns out, at Eastern Michigan University. So what's something that they should be looking for if they are giving him psychological testing before he joins the force? What should they be looking for someone like this?
Well, I think, again, the difficulty is so many people who have histories of sexual assault, when they're in positions of high stature, whether it be a football player, a prize athlete or things, a lot of times they've been able to get people to keep quiet for years and years and years. So you want to look at their ability to manipulate situations. You want to look at how they present on testing, psychological testing, and if they look like they're presenting in an overly positive light. Many people who have been able to fool people, they develop an arrogance and a narcissism that they think they can get away with these things. And in many ways they do, because people have made excuses for their behaviors for years, and they've dismissed it or covered it up. So what I would wonder is, what's the long-term history that you often have to do background checks and interviews of people going back to childhood even to see if you can develop an overall composite of this individual. It is quite costly, but as Mike said, when you lose the trust of the community and of even this spreads across the country because people hear it and they start to question law enforcement, their job is to protect and serve, not to exploit. And this does raise serious issues of trust, especially when you take into account of the trust issues that are happening even in Ferguson right now.
Erik Fisher, Mike Brooks, thanks so much for weighing in on the subject. Christy?